So we are going to use long division to divide 3x squared plus 19x plus 20 by x plus 5. So we've got to keep in mind that when we use long division, we always subtract as we go along. We don't add, only subtraction. That's something important that we've got to keep in mind. So the first step is to come up with some number here, number or expression, so that when you multiply with the first term here, I get 3x squared. So if I plug in 3x, and that's put 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times the next term, which is 5, will give me 15x. And I'm going to subtract. 3x squared will go away. 19x minus 15x is 4x. 20 minus nothing here, so we just get the 20. Now I've got to come up with a number or an expression there, so that when I multiply with x, I get 4x. So it has to be the number 4. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 5 is 20. Subtract, I get 0 because they are the same term. So we have 6x squared minus 17x minus 3. And we have to divide that by 3x minus 9. So I've got to come up with an expression here so that when I multiply with 3x, I get 6x squared. So that expression will be 2x. 3x times 2x is 6x squared. Negative 9 times 2x, negative 18x. If I subtract, the 6x squared will go away. Negative 17x minus of minus 18x. Now, in a problem like this, it's best to do it on the side unless you are very confident and you know that you're going to get the correct answer. What do I mean by that? So to subtract negative 17x and minus 18x, should better write it on the side. You will have negative 17x plus 18x, which will give you x. Now, some of you can look at the expression and get it directly, but if you're one of those who can't get it directly, it's best to write it on the side. So negative 17x minus of minus 18x is x. Minus 3 minus nothing is just minus 3, comes straight down. Now I've got to multiply 3x by something so that I get x. So if I multiply 3x by 1/3, I will get 3x. So excuse me, 3x times 1/3, which is x. Minus 9 times 1/3, I'll get minus 3. And if I subtract, those two would go away. So the answer, or the remainder, is 0. So the quotient in this case is 2x plus 1/3, and the remainder is 0. So we want to divide x squared plus 3x minus 40 by x minus 5. So first step, I need to come up with an expression or a number there, so that when I multiply with x, I get x squared. So x times x, x squared. negative 5 times x, negative 5x. Have to subtract. Those will get cancelled. 3x minus of minus 5x will be plus 5x. So as I mentioned earlier, you could do it on the side. 3x minus of minus 5x would become 3x plus 5x, giving us 8x. So I will have 8x minus 40. If it comes down, I'll simply have minus 40. I have to come up with a number or an expression up there in the quotient, so that when I multiply with x, I get 8x. So that would be the number 8. 8 times x is 8x. 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. And if I subtract the 2, this will go away and I'll get 0. When we divide polynomials, it is quite important that the x's are in decreasing powers of x. If they are not, you should always rearrange so that you have decreasing powers of x in your polynomial. If you have missing terms, they must be replaced by 0. What do I mean by that? Suppose I have x cubed plus x squared minus 1. It is a third degree polynomial, and in decreasing powers of x, I have 3, 2, but I'm missing an x. So I have to rewrite it as x cubed plus x squared, 0 times x minus 1, before I proceed with long division. So don't forget that crucial step. So in our given polynomial, we don't seem to have any issues. We have decreasing powers of x and nothing is missing. So we can start dividing. So I've got to multiply 2x by some term in the quotient so that I get 4x cubed. So that would be 2x squared. 2x squared times 2x is 4x cubed. 2x squared times 4 is 8x squared. I can subtract the 2. 4x cubed would go away. Keep in mind, the purpose of long division is to reduce the terms in the dividend one by one. So we're subtracting to get rid of the terms one at a time. So 7x squared minus 8x squared is minus x squared plus 8x plus 20. So they just come down here. I've got to multiply 2x by some number or an expression over there so that I get minus x squared. So that has to be minus 1/2 x. If I multiply 2x by negative 1/2 x, I will get negative x squared. So negative x squared. 4 times negative 1/2 x will be negative 2x. Oops. Subtract. The x squares, the negative x squares will get cancelled. 8x minus of minus 2x would be 10x and plus 20. So I've got to come up with some expression or number up there so that when I multiply with 2x, I end up getting 10x. So in this case, it'll simply be the number 5. 5 times 2x is 10x, and 5 times 4 is 20. If I subtract, I'd end up getting 0. So first step is to write the polynomial that is given, the numerator polynomial, in order, because it is not in order. We want it to be in decreasing powers of x, 6x cubed plus 2x squared minus 18x minus 6. Nothing is missing, so we can go forward. I've got to multiply 3x by some expression or number so that I get 6x cubed. So if I put 2x squared here, 3x times 2x squared, 6x cubed, 1 times 2x squared is 2x squared. I subtract, 6x cubed would go away, 2x squared minus 2x squared will get cancelled. Nothing here and there, so I can pull that down. I've got to come up with a number or an expression in the quotient so that when I multiply with 3x in the divisor, I get negative 18x. So that would be negative 6. 3x times negative 6 is negative 18x. 1 times negative 6 is negative 6. Subtract the 2. 18x will get cancelled. Negative 6 will get cancelled. They are the same term or expression, so we will get 0. The quotient, therefore, is 2x squared minus 6. The remainder is 0. So everything is in order. So x cubed minus 7x squared minus 13x plus 5 divided by x minus 2. So if I multiply the divisor by x squared times x cubed, x squared times negative 2, negative 2x squared. I subtract, the x cubed will go away. Negative 7x squared minus of minus 2x squared, you will get negative 7x squared plus 2x squared, which is 5x squared. As I mentioned earlier, if you can't do it directly or mentally, write it on the side, the subtraction part, so that you don't make any mistakes. Minus 13x plus 5. If I multiply the quotient by 5x, I would get 5x squared minus 10x. I subtract, 5x squared minus 5x squared will be 0. It'll get cancelled. Is minus 13x minus of minus 10x, which is minus 13x plus 10x. We will get negative 3x. 5 comes down, I have plus 5. Ah, I see. I did make a mistake here. So negative 7x squared minus of minus 2x squared. I wrote it on the side and still got it wrong. Minus 5x squared minus 13x plus 5. So I've got to multiply by negative 5x, which will give me negative 5x squared plus 10x. I subtract the 5x squared, the negative 5x squares will get cancelled. Negative 13x minus 10x minus 23x. The 5 just comes down, so we have 5 plus 23. 23 times x, excuse me, minus 23. Minus 23 times x is minus 23x. Minus 23 times minus 2, positive 46. Subtract, those two would go away. 5 minus 46 is negative 41. So the polynomial that's given, the numerator one, it is in decreasing powers of x, which is not a big deal for us to worry about here. The next step is to look for any missing terms. So x raised 5, x raised 4, x cubed, I'm missing x squared. So I have to throw in 0 times x squared. So 2x raised 5 minus 6x raised 4 plus x cubed plus 0x squared minus 4x plus 3. And I have x squared minus 3 in the quotient. I want to multiply the quotient by some term so that I could cancel out 2x raised 5. So the term would be 2x cubed. 2x cubed times x squared is 2x raised 5. Negative 3 times 2x cubed is minus 6x cubed. So since I don't have an x raised 4 term, I'm going to skip that part and move over to negative 6x cubed. When I subtract, I will have negative 6x raised 4, x cubed minus of minus 6x cubed is 7x cubed plus 0x squared minus 4x plus 3. And now I multiply the quotient by negative 6x squared so that I get negative 6x raised 4. The next term in the quotient is negative 3. Excuse me, in the divisor is negative 3. So negative 3 times negative 6x squared is positive 18x squared. Since I don't get an x cubed term, I just skip. When I subtract, those two would go away. I'll have 7x cubed, 0x squared minus of 18x squared will be negative 18x squared minus 4x, plus 4x plus 3. Have to multiply by 7x, so that 7x times x squared will give me 7x cubed. 7x times negative 3 would be negative 21x. So I can skip and write negative 21x over here. Subtract, 7x cubed will get cancelled. Negative 18x squared, 4x minus of minus 21x is 25x plus 3. If I put negative 18 in the quotient, negative 18 times x squared is negative 18x squared. Negative 18 times negative 3 is positive 54. If I subtract, those two will go away. 25x minus 0 is 25x. 3 minus 54 is negative 51. So in this problem, I could have taken a different approach in the sense, since the divisor is missing a term, I could also write the divisor such as x squared plus 0x minus 3, and then proceed. If I did it that way, then I wouldn't be getting the missing spaces here. I'll just throw in 0. But it is completely a matter of choice. I personally find that keeping the quotient as is and just skipping terms is easier. But people have preferences. If you like to take this approach, that is perfectly fine, as long as we have the correct answer.